Hello. The theme of this week, well and truly, is Sam forgets to film an intro. Hi. Welcome to week 4, the final week for Escape the Readathon. I read all romantasy. Thank you, Cassidy. Thank you, Steph. And thank you, Monica, for 3 fun romantasy picks that I, thank goodness, have finally read. So, yeah, join me on this little journey. I think that's it. That you won't get the drill. You've been here already. Run the tape. Oh no. Oh no. This was sadly disappointing for a conclusion of a series. So this is Rebel Witch, sequel to Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter, depending on which region you're in. I was so excited to get back into being with these characters again, who truly, the characters carried the story. I love them dearly. I love their banter. I love the side characters. I love the found family of it all. I did like the overall plot, but it did not make this a great story, which is really unfortunate. So Heartless Hunter is about Rune and Gideon, and Rune is a witch and Gideon is a witch hunter. Witches are outlawed because of the previous old witch queen who was super bad, did not great things. Witches are no more, and now all witches are captured and killed and executed. And so obviously Rune, being a witch, wants to save other witches and protect them. So that's a really big part of her character motivations, is saving and rescuing other witches, while Gideon's motivation is doing what's right by the guard, and he's constantly on the hunt for the Crimson Moth, which is Rune's alias, as she's doing all these cool savior things. And so we end the book in a pretty cliffhanger spot. We get some reveals that you don't see coming, and it's very shocking and high adrenaline. And then the book picks up basically where we leave off, but it did not carry, so much was trying to be done between trying to figure out who a mystery person is, from trying to reconnect, obviously, our characters. And that was one of my biggest complaints, is how repetitive the characters were, especially in their thoughts towards each other and not just communicating up front or over time. They spend 3 days stuck on a ship together, very forced proximity, and yet they don't properly communicate and trust each other. And I get it to a point, but it's also kind of annoying. So unfortunately, the repetition and miscommunication and lack of just understanding the characters' motivations were a little bit frustrating, as well as the plot just felt kind of rushed and it wasn't the main focus of the book. We were trying so hard to make this romantasy and focus just on Gideon and Rune that I didn't feel like we were caring enough about the plot, and the plot just felt so subpar to everything else that I was a little bit disappointed. I really enjoyed the plot. I think that the plot could stand on its own. There's also chapter 71, I think, a little steamy for a young adult, a little much for a young adult, I will say. But it's just I don't know. I think that she wanted to write a romantasy, and I think that's fine. I think that my perception of romantasy, I definitely want a more balanced of world building and plot and characters, rather than just romance with a backdrop of a plot. But that's just maybe a me personal thing. Again, I love the characters, and that's what really sold this book for me and made me want to read it and pick it up, because I was still squealing and kicking my little feet, but I was also rolling my eyes a whole bunch, because I was just why are we doing this though? Why? What is the point? So I am a little bit disappointed. I wish that this was just done differently, and I don't know exactly, without spoiling it, how to better explain my thoughts and what I would have done to make this better, but I just was let down, sadly. So it is 4 stars, because I did still enjoy it as a book, as a whole, as a series. I enjoyed being with the characters. I just wanted more from this, and so my desires were left a little underwhelmed, unfortunately. But I did still like a lot of the essence of this book, and of course, like, it's hard to not love a book when you love the characters so much, but the characters still felt true to themselves, and the choices that they made, the motivations they had, the trauma that they carried from the previous book stuck with them, and I really appreciated that of the characters. It was just more the repetition of it, where I was like, all right, get on with it, like, let's focus on other things, like bigger things are at play than just like you guys being a couple. But I did think the ending was nice. It wrapped up well. It was, unfortunately, like, I read most of this in 2 sittings, and I was kind of checked out by the end and just like listened to the audiobook without reading along because I was just ready for it to be done, unfortunately. And so that's why I know this could never be a 5-star perfect series for me, which is really unfortunate because I loved, what is it called? Oh god, Heartless Hunter. I loved Heartless Hunter so much. It was one of my favorite reads of last year, and it's always a letdown. This is why I always say that I'm really bad at finishing series, but I think the real truth is I don't like finishing series because I'm often just let down by the conclusions. Like, the endings are never as good as the start, and I just feel sad about that. But yes, that's where we're at. I finished this. I wish that I checked in with you guys more, but I really didn't have anything to say about this, unfortunately. I kind of just was reading it to read it and, like, was in it. I'm glad that I read it. It was highly anticipated. It was on my 25 and 2025, so, like, I am happy to have gotten to it when I did and not sit on it for so long. I just wish that I had more things to say throughout the story. It just kind of felt alright. It felt fine. It didn't feel like anything spectacular. It was just like an okay book, which is really disappointing. I can understand why people are rating this lower. If my love and connection to the characters and like kicking my feet and swooning over them wasn't such a 4-star feeling, I think this would probably realistically be 3 stars. Like, if I took the characters out and just like judged this as like a plot, it would probably be closer to 3. Which is unfortunate. I like the writing. I like this author. I'm definitely going to read more from her, and hopefully she's writing something that's new and exciting. And this is honestly like a series that I'm going to continue thinking fondly of, especially the first book. I literally have a whole like RPG character that's kind of based off Rune. So I am hoping that whatever she comes out with next, going to pick it up. I'm hoping that it'll only be better. I'm really excited for that. But that's a wrap on The Rebel Witch. It's just Rebel Witch. I don't know why I always put the in front of it, but that's a wrap on Rebel Witch. My long-awaited, so long-awaited, it is truly, I kid you not, the 31st. I got this 2 days ago. Okay, book of the month. Ay. So I went a little crazy. First thing I got was A Curse Carved in Bone, which is book 2 of the Saga of the Unfated by Daniel L. Jensen, an author in the romantasy genre that I do tend to really enjoy. The first book, Fate Inked in Blood, I did like it, but the pacing was kind of off. One half of the book really stood out more than the other half, so I'm hoping that that's been kind of solved. That one was a little bit predictable, but I'm not, like, blaming it for that. I did overall like the characters, the setting, like would you consider it Viking? It feels kind of Viking. Anyway, I do like the setting and the characters, and so I'm intrigued to see where they're going to go from here and if their characters are written even better. So I'm excited for this. And then the reason my box was delayed so long, Silver Leaf, I got it. I will be reading this in June in a reading vlog, so I will be sharing all of my thoughts and opinions on this bad boy. And it is right side up. Apparently a lot of people were getting theirs from Book of the Month upside down because there was a lot of printing issues. So that's why my box was so delayed, because they decided to make it a special edition. Oh, I cannot wait to dive into this one and just talk so much about it, about the author and the theories and the blah blah blah, and oh, look out for that in June. I'm very excited. And then the final thing, which I've already read because I got the audiobook art from NetGalley, is Enchantress! Yay! I have it in my hand. This is by Kaylee Smith, and this is the sequel to Phantasma, which I loved, truly loved so much. I love the trials, the setting of that one was so rich, and this is following the sister. I always want to call her the wrong name. This is Genevieve. There we go. I want to call her Guinevere. Not sure why, but we're following the sister in this one and her romantic endeavors. There is going to be more in the series, which I'm really excited about. I'm hoping that the series remains just as solid and good. This one was more of a 4.5 star for me, but truly came to me at the perfect time. It just like cured a slump for me. I love this book. So I'm happy to have her in my possession. She's so pretty. Here's my little book of the month. That color combo looks so nice. This is my little book of the month haul. So late into the month, here we are. They're finally here. And I can finally finish reading them. So that's very exciting for me. Please stick around. Please, I want to talk about Silver Elite so bad. I cannot wait to read it. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I have been very aware of everything going on. I'm just very intrigued about all of it. So I'm excited to dive into that one, but oh boy howdy. Okay, hi. I'm technically reading on my Kindle, but I of course bought the pretty edition, so I have to show it off. I am 25% into Shield of Sparrows, which for whatever reason is a title I really struggle with. I'm having a good time. I don't know what like the overarching plot of this really is. We're following Odessa, who is the heir sort of the throne. Her father is king, but her mother is dead, and she's got a semi-wicked stepmother and a very complex sister. The sister is May, and May is your typical romantasy girl. She is a badass. She knows how to throw knives and fight. She's cunning. She's a really good spy and gossip. Like, she is all about the courtmanship. She would make a wonderful queen. But, of course, we're following Odessa, which means that events have to happen to her instead. So there's meant to be an arranged marriage with another kingdom, and they are supposed to be marrying May. It's going to be her and Prince Xavier. But Prince Xavier shows up with his, who knows so far, we're not sure, but the Guardian does not have a name yet. So mysterious. So Prince Xavier, his guards, and the Guardian himself all come, and they're like, hey, so we slayed 7 of these magical beasts, which actually means we get to pick the bride, and we want that one instead. And they pick to Odessa, and Odessa's like, I'm already betrothed, like, I have a fiance, like, I can't, like, this isn't right. And of course, that doesn't fly, and she gets swept away. We go on a boat ship. We are taken to this new kingdom. We're still traveling there, but we have had some interesting excursions on the boat of her handmaids getting seasick and having a close encounter with one of the mythical monsters that's more eel-like, and it's a little bit scary, spooky. And also, we are just having the most fun banter with the Guardian, and Prince Xavier is known to not talk. He's seen as mute by many of the people, but it's more of like a political thing to just kind of fly under the radar and be seen as weak compared to other kingdoms. But he and Odessa do actually speak on the boat and have like some nice conversations. He doesn't give too much away. Nobody trusts each other in this arrangement. Everybody is like, this isn't great. But Odessa, of course, has been tasked that she has to take place for May, which means that she now has to be the spy. She has to somehow tell her father where the hidden capital is and how they're going to kill the Guardian. So she's kind of trying to play double agent here, like trying to gain the trust of her new husband while also trying to like learn more about everything that's going on. And they don't trust her. She's not good at this. She's not meant to be a spy. So she's just kind of fumbling around and trying to learn how to wield a sword and like do all of the things that her sister was properly taught how to do, and she's just kind of catching up. She's 23, I believe, and I am having fun with this. Like, it's not been anything crazy. Like, again, this is a chunkier book, but I am about 25%, so it's going well. I think that we're getting to know the characters, and we're getting to know the type of banter that they're going to have with each other, which I do really enjoy their banter. I like the way that they play off each other and their jokes. While Odessa's character is very curious and inquisitive, she wants to know the answers to things. When she gets nervous, she asks questions, but obviously her status in the world, she's not supposed to be asking questions. So I'm really enjoying her as a character, even though at times being in her head is like, girl, we get it, you know nothing. And you're just asking us questions. Hello, little bean. So, like, I get it, but she gets a little bit annoying at times. But for the most part, I do like being with her, and I think that she, so far, is interesting. And she's asking the same questions that we, the reader, would be asking. So it's kind of lending itself to us learning things together and being on this journey together, not her having secret information kept from us or whatever. And I'm very interested in what's going to make her special, because that feels like something has to, right? Like, why did they pick her between the two? Like, what was going on behind the scenes? What is it with the Guardian? Like, why is he so, like, superhuman? What's going on with that? I just have questions, but I am having a good time. It's a really fast read. It's not super info dumpy. It's not super difficult writing. It's not too flowery or too simple. Like, it's just standard, I guess, which doesn't sound as good or nice, but not in a bad way. But it is really easy to read. Hey, the narrator for the audiobook, I also think is doing an incredible job. This is a good time. I don't have 5-star feelings yet. It's just good. It's just, I'm having a good time. I'm kicking my feet when there is interactions. I'm intrigued with the world. I want to know more about, like, the gods and these, like, monster-y creatures that you can see on her Instagram story if you have problems visioning it. So yeah, overall, I'm having a good time, but I want to check in 25%. So far, so good, and I will let you guys know how it goes from here. I'll probably check in 50 or 75% depending on how much I do or don't have to say. Hello, it is quite later now in the day, but I finished the last 70 pages of this morning, and the ending was not quite as wild and twisty. Like, I know people say that they cry and stuff. I did not quite get there, but I was reading this yesterday and was quite emotional, so I do kind of get it. Oh boy. So the ending of this really does, I guess, pick up in a way, but I found it really good. I overall really enjoyed this. I think because of my absolute heartache. No, okay. How do I want to say this? So I felt incredibly attached to the characters the entire time. The full cast, everybody I cared about, I was interested in. There was a couple moments where I was like, hey, Odessa, like, you're not thinking about, I don't know, maybe the handmaidens that you brought along with you enough, and, like, not always thinking about the other characters as much as she thinks of the Guardian, which I do think it's fair, it's a romantasy, but I do wish sometimes that I was like, girl, especially the last, like, from 90 to 93%, I was like, girl, you are the dumbest creature in existence, you're about to make the stupidest, most annoying mistakes possible, and I just, like, wasn't wanting anything that was going to come, and now we've shifted. So much happens at the end that it really doesn't feel like those things are going to be as crucial, thank God. But I really felt really drawn to these characters and connected to each of them. I was very invested in their stories and, like, what was going to happen to them. So by the end, I can understand, like, being in an emotional place could wreck you based on, like, where we end and whether or not good things are going to come from this or not. But I really did like the characters and the world. Like, this is probably my favorite atmosphere, like, having the city of Trio and it just being, like, a bunch of tree houses is, like, one of my favorite, like, elven, like, wood elf setting. And so, like, just being so in the forest with these deadly creatures that are getting sick and trying to figure out that, I ate it up. I didn't need a strong world building. I didn't need to know anything beyond what our character knew. She was pretty sheltered, and being the spare in her kingdom and the spare sister basically wasn't taught all of the same things, wasn't prepared for this adventure she was going to go on. And so I do think that it makes sense to me that we don't know a lot about the world because she doesn't know a lot about the world. I do understand the critiques of people who, this character is sheltered, doesn't know a whole lot, was not trained for this position, and asks a lot of questions. And I can understand that really bothering some people. So just like be aware that it can be like paragraphs of just questions. But I do think it fits her character, and I honestly would rather read a character who is questioning everything and questioning people's motives and what things means and trying to solve puzzles and like be the perfect spy even if she fails horribly. I would rather that character than the dumb character who either thinks they know everything or just doesn't care to ask questions because they're too caught up about a man. Like, I don't want that. I would rather read this. And I think that the writing was pretty strong. I didn't have issues. It makes sense that Devney Perry has so many romance books and is like a very well-known author, so it makes sense that the writing was not atrocious. I understand the people who are annoyed that it feels like every other Red Tower romantasy and has a lot of similarities to Fourth Wing and just like the genre as a whole, but I think that's why it's succeeding, because that's kind of what you want in a romantasy. As for the romance, I do think that it was very sweet and charming. I really do enjoy the Guardian. I really enjoyed Xavier. I really enjoyed Evie. And the handmaids were interesting. Talia was great. The older women of the camp, Kathleen and Luella, like, all of these characters mean so much to me. And I remember all of their names, which is also very special. But this was one of the few books I've read this year that I constantly was thinking about, especially the setting of just like the trees, the forest, the monsters, the tree houses. I was thinking about the setting and being back in this book every time I put it down. I wanted to pick it back up. I really wanted to finish this and read it, and I've missed that feeling. So I'm giving this 5 stars on Goodreads. I think realistically it is more of a 4.5 because I'm being very stingy with my 5s, but I can see a lot of the flaws in this. I can understand why people don't like it. There was definitely moments where I was wanting more action to come from this, but I did really enjoy my time with this. I really enjoyed the characters. There's very few complaints I really have in comparison to other books that I've read this month. And so, I also have to, I failed my own challenge of reading booktubers 5 stars. Cassidy only gave this 4. So I didn't even do my homework correctly. I was going based off, I think, an Instagram reel or something where Cassidy just said that she really liked it. I was like, oh, must have been 5 stars. And I just like didn't check. Didn't do my due diligence. Sorry about that. Slander on my part, but it was 4 stars from Cassidy. And I think 5 stars, but really a 4.5 from me. You don't mind, still quite chunky, but a bit slower paced, not too action heavy, especially like even by the end there is action, but it's not too much compared to other books. Like, I would say Quicksilver has higher action scenes, so it really depends on what you're looking for in your reads. But if you want something woodsy, very summery, I would say this is definitely something to think about checking out. I do recommend it. It's on Kindle Unlimited. The audiobook is not an Audible exclusive, so you can get it from your library. I got it from my library, so check it out if you're interested. I really enjoyed this, and I'm very happy that I was able to squeeze this in so soon as it just came out. I hate that I have to wait until the next book, because I really just liked being in this world. I'm also equally as curious as Odessa. Like, I really need to know what all of this means. Like, what's going on with the monsters, what's going on with the capital, like, what's going on with her dad, like, with the other kingdom. I have so many questions, and I really want to know, and I'm sad that I have to wait. Probably like a year, maybe 2. Ugh. You cannot see anything, really. I just have 2 complaints. One, you're telling me that this is supposed to be taking place in San Francisco, but it's Greek mythology. Why would Zeus be hanging out in San Francisco? I have a lot of questions. And 2, you're telling me that Hades is on a rebound? No, you can't tell me it's a rebound, immortal god falling in love with a mortal on a rebound because Persephone is dead. What? I can't. Good morning, hello. Today, my big plan is to finish the games gods play, which is really the most annoying title. I hate saying it's almost like a tongue twister, but not quite a tongue twister. I got up to part 3 last night. These chapters are seriously so short. So chapter 25 and 100 pages. Such short chapters, like 3 pages sometimes. Love that. It does make for a very quick read. I'm about to talk some shit, so I want to preface the shit talking with, I really want to keep reading this. I'm having a good time. I want to see where we go. We're just about to start the first trial, so like I'm sad. I'm hoping for really good trials in this competition, or it will fall flat for me, but I'm being very hopeful. The downside, like I mentioned in my really bad clip last night, you're kidding me that this is set in San Francisco. I despise that entirely. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I hate that this is set in like a more modern time where they have cell phones and they're living in a penthouse, and like I do get it to a point. And like you're telling me that this is supposed to be Hades, and like I know, I get it. They look like normal people all the time, but my head is truly like Lore Olympus and Hercules, the Disney movie. And so like I'm picturing like a blue man, definitely a little bit more fantastical looking than just a man. And also, like, he is an immortal, and she is just a girl, and Hades is on the rebound of Persephone because she's dead? You're gonna tell me that this widowed god man is going to thirst after heavily for this 23-year-old American girl? Far-fetched. I don't believe it. Why would you think that's a good idea? Oh yeah, and there was like a moment where she mentions one of the guys, and she's like, he has a fuck around and find out attitude. And I'm like, stop. It's like when you, I don't remember what romantasy book it was, but one of them said full stop, and I was like, this is the end times. Like, what are we doing? Please, for the love of God, stop putting, like, modern slang into your romantasy books to make it more readable. I hate it. It really takes me out of the story every single time. But in this, we are following Lyra. Lyra is a thief under, like, the patron Hermes, and she has a guardian, Felix, who kind of, like, mentors all of the young thieves who are trying to pay off their parents' debts. Our young woman, Lyra, here, has been cursed by Zeus because her mom decided to give birth or go into labor around him, and I guess, like, they were siblings. I don't really understand the whole backstory quite yet, but basically, Zeus was like, how dare you try to give labor around me? I'm going to curse your daughter, and she will never be loved. Which basically, in her way, is, like, interpreting, like, people don't dislike her nor like her. Like, they just feel quite neutral towards her. They never, like, choose her. Nobody's going to want to go out of their way to desire her, and she just wants to be loved. In comes Hades, who is joining the Crucible for the first time in many hundreds of years. The Crucibles is the games that the gods play every 100 years to king a new god for the next century. And Hades has decided, since his beloved Persephone has died, he has something going on. We don't know what yet, but something is happening, and he's like behind the scenes, he's like, I'm gonna crack the case. I'm on it, and this girl's gonna help me. And I just like, okay, sure. And so yeah, he chooses her as his champion, and they're living in this penthouse together, and he's gonna help her through the games to the best of his abilities. Gods can't quite meddle, but at the same time, like, it's their whole game, so he's gonna help her somehow. But they've already kissed, and it wasn't like in a like, oh, I like you romance kind of way. It was like, I have to bestow a gift upon you, so I'm gonna make out with you hardcore. And it just felt weird to me. It did not have the right kind of consensual language around it, because he's like, it's totally your choice, but if you don't let me kiss you, you won't get this gift. And this is a gift that nobody would ever think to turn down, because it's like safe passage to get out of the underworld. Okay, weird first kiss, I suppose, but whatever. Sure. Okay. And then he also bestows her the gift of these animals that you can see on this inside. So there's the silver butterfly who said, fuck this bitch, I am not going with her. There is this green cheetah, a purple fox, a little red tarantula. I hate that. And they're like tattoos that he has given to her on her body. And we don't know what abilities or powers they have just yet, but this was, I guess, like gifted to him from his mom a long time ago, and he like never gave them to anybody, but suddenly like this girl, because Persephone's dead, he's like, yeah, she can have my magical tattoos. Okay, but this is like the second or third book where there's like a sentient tattoo. And so I think that needs to be a microtrope that I start tracking on my spreadsheet because it's happened more than once this year. Yeah, it's so easy to read because the chapters are so short, and the main character, Lyra, is so annoying because she is just like a classic Gen Z American living in California, but like also believes in the gods. But she's mentioned a couple times that like she can change pantheons, and I'm questioning because I don't know enough about religion. Is pantheons like the entire Greek mytho, or is pantheon like she can change to like the Buddhist gods? Like, I don't understand what she means when she says that she should stop favoring these pantheons. I don't know. Is it just like specifically one god? Like, I don't get it. So that's where my weakness is showing because I just don't know. But again, easy read, short chapters. I am overall having a good time and I'm liking it. Like, I'm rolling my eyes, but it's still fun, you know? Like, it's not good, but it's fun. And I think I'm okay with that right now. So my big plan today is to just finish this. I'll keep you posted as we go because I'm sure there was going to be a lot more what the fuck moments where I'm just like, guys, what? So I'll keep you updated as I read this, and then by the end I will share some of the final results with you. I'm very excited. Well done, everybody, this month. I'm so proud of us all for reading as much as we have, myself especially. I will chit chat with you guys when I have more to update you on. I'm procrastinating. I need to stop. I need to go. I'm procrastinating. Go. She's supposed to have short raven hair. Okay, Hamilton. Woohoo! We have made it 50% through. I don't have a whole lot to say. There's a few moments where I'm just like, no, simply no. Now you're telling me that Hades and Persephone were never in love and he saw her as a little sister. No. Anyway, besides the weird mythology changing, I am having a pretty good time. I really like the trials. I really like the characters. I like that our main character, Lyra, wants everybody to succeed. It doesn't have like this deep desire for winning, but just surviving, but also wanting others to survive as well and trying to make this like a fair game, even though everybody else is like pretty competitive and at times pretty like nasty. But I do appreciate that she's like, no, I would like to help who I can. I want to make allies with basically everyone if possible. Like, I don't care about winning, I just want to survive. I like that. Trials are cool. The trials are nothing like too crazy, but are still enjoyable to read and fun. There was like one moment where Lyra said something about like you gotta give the gods at least they're creative, and I was like, okay, author. Like, I know you feel this way about yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Yes, good job. Does this need to be this long? I don't think so. I think we could probably speed through the challenges a little bit quicker, seeing as there's supposed to be 12. My biggest thing, and this isn't necessarily a complaint, I think this could be a pro for a lot of people, but 50% in, this is not a romantasy. This is not a romance at all. I don't know why they've kissed 3 times. It makes me uncomfortable every time. Like, not once have I gone, oh yeah, they make sense. Oh yeah, they definitely have feelings for each other. They don't know each other, like, even a little bit. And they have good banter. I think that their interactions together are fun and make me giggle, but he knows nothing about her. She definitely knows nothing about him. Like, yeah, he's sacrificing himself for her and he wants her to succeed for whatever purpose he might have. But I don't get them as a couple. Like, there's no chemistry whatsoever. Like, I don't feel the romance. So every time they kiss, I go, why? Why are you kissing her? It's kind of giving gross and weird. So if you tell me this is not a romance and not a romantasy, having a great time in this fantasy book. I think it's very fun. Pros, trials, fun side characters, Greek mythology, even if it's wrong sometimes. Cons, sometimes it's wrong. Modern San Francisco, I really hate that. I hate that so much. Like, it just does not make any sense to me. Yeah, no, that's kind of like the big cons. It's just like you're changing some of the mythology, which is weird. And I don't like that it's set in a modern San Francisco. Like, I get it now, but I don't have to like it, you know? So, yeah, that's where I'm at, 50%. I am excited to see where we go. Lyra is in her now technically 5th trial, and she's gotten her first leg up in the competition. She's won her first trial, and she truly is like, wow, everything is looking up. There is no downhill from here. We are only succeeding. Only good things are happening. And it's like, I think you're getting a little bit too excited about the fact that you accidentally have a quirk and it got you into a winning position. Like, I don't think it did you as much good as you're, like, leading yourself to believe. But it's fine. She's a little delusional, and I think that's fine for her. Do what you gotta do to survive, right? So, I'm gonna keep reading. I know I have not moved from this couch much at all. I'm also getting hungry. And we're severely lacking in the snacks department, and it's making me kind of sad. So I'm going to figure that out, but I'm also going to keep finishing the last 50% of this book. I'm excited. I like the trials. I like that everybody is like, fuck this bitch. Lyra sucks. Hades is the worst. No way he can win. I enjoy it. Also, can we just talk about how dope this sweatshirt is? I fucking love it so much. Okay. Yeah, that's my update. 50%. I will check in with you guys when I have things to say. Okay. We have done the thing. I finally finished. This took a really long time to read, even though the chapters were short and the writing is rather simple and easy. I was really struggling with, like, just being able to sit. Maybe it's, like, me thing, just, like, my attention span right now, just, like, sitting down to read a whole book. Rough. All of my critiques for this really do still stand. Like, I don't love the writing, the modernness of this. I did not love the Persephone take. I understand that it, like, I don't know, it's so hard. Okay, so the trials were cool. I like the trials. I like the cast of characters. This is this is a fantasy book with some romance. It doesn't really, it's less than, like, half a spicy pepper, maybe a spicy pepper, depending on your, like, level or whatever, but there's, like, a fade to black, slight little scene, like, that's, like, a chapter, and then it fades to black for the rest of it, and that's it. The romance is the most unbelievable thing in this, though, because they didn't have chemistry. I didn't feel it. Like, by the end, I was, like, on board, sure, but I really did not feel as though they made sense. Like, they instantly were trusting each other. The kisses happened so early, but without, like, good reason. They don't really know each other. We don't see them bond on page. The banter is good, and obviously, like, we're sitting with them for many and many pages. This is just over 500 pages, so we get enough time with them of him, like, rescuing her and taking care of her, which I do appreciate, but I feel like that's just not enough. Like, her being put into peril and dangerous situations, and, like, him helping her through grief or near-death experiences, like, yeah, sure, but that's not enough for a romance to be believable for me. But I was enjoying it. I did have fun. All of the side characters were really what makes this book excel. Like, the side characters are very good. It has this Hunger Games feel, more like Catching Fire, where you have, like, a found family within the competition. People are helping each other, but also, like, having to kill each other, and so it's, like, ruthless, yet a nice balance, but felt very Hunger Games in that sense. But also, like, the way that it ends, I would recommend you just read Lore Olympus. If you're wanting more of that romance, and if you want the modern side of things, I do think Lore Olympus, which is a graphic novel series that started on Webtoons, has been published. I do think that is a little bit better if you want, like, mythos and more accuracy, but for what this was, I did like it. I think I might be putting too many expectations on this for what it is, and I know that, like, Red Tower is not always going to be known for the best quality of writing or quality of plot, but overall, this was really fun, and I did enjoy being with these characters and seeing their journey. I was really invested in, like, how things were going to go. I was expecting, honestly, like, a way bigger betrayal, and everything ended and wrapped up rather nicely. Like, I think besides the epilogue, you could stop here. Like, you don't have to continue with the series. I probably will, if we're being honest. I don't know if I'll buy the books and continue the series, like, on my physical collection, just because I think this is closer to probably, like, a low 4. It was just, like, a solid time, but I do have, like, those complaints that just will keep nagging at me. But I do think that I'll continue the series. I'll listen to the audiobooks because I enjoyed the narrator. I will, yeah, I'll see where this goes, but it definitely has like a Lore Olympus setup for the next book that I'm just like, I'd rather just, finish Lore Olympus. When you're writing a romantasy, it's often expected of you to write easier, more simple language that is, broad enough to get a lot of especially new or younger readers in. And so I understand like having modern slang and vocabulary like just maybe helps be approachable for readers, but I do think this would have been a little bit better if it was not set in San Francisco. So yeah, I don't think it was quite a 5-star for me. I think 4 stars feels right. Happy that I finally read this. This has been sitting on my shelf for quite some time now. I'm happy to have read all of these books. I think that this was a solid reading vlog for me. I'm happy that I got to read backlist books that I've had since they were released. I'm happy to have continued into a series that is now complete, and this probably would have sat on my shelf for quite a while longer, so happy to have finished it even if it was a little bit disappointing. But of course, the star of the show, which wasn't even a proper contender because Cassidy didn't even give this 5 stars, so I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be reading other people's 5 stars because the pressure's too much, but I really enjoyed this. It's definitely closer to a 4.5 realistically, but rounding up to a 5, I really love this. I cannot wait to continue into this world, but I did really enjoy my time, and this is a setting that I'm just going to be dreaming about for quite some time. But this was a solid reading vlog. This was a solid time for me. I'm happy to have like gotten some romantasy in, and I'm excited to get more romantasy in. It's just the thing that I want. I just want good fantasy, but with romance. I really just want feelings that I got from the Legend of Thesmar world. Like, I just need this feeling again. So if somebody has like a bath scene in a romantasy book, I've been itching. Like, I'm starving for a good bath scene. I'm gonna keep chasing the high. I'm gonna keep finding the right romantasy book for me. It's gonna happen. I've got a few on the docket for June, so all fun things. But that is the end. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. Thank you, Lexi, for inviting me to co-host and be a game master for Escape the Readathon. Thank you to all the wonderful hosts that have let me peruse their Goodreads and find books to read because of them, and honestly just have such a fun time. Great job, mediums. I will say I am an honorary winner because I was able, Lexi so kindly, so graciously, like, did not have to, but offered everybody a free bookmark, and I of course picked the Spirit Chaser, which was Team Mediums, and then they won, so technically I won because they won, and I would have been on that team, I'm so thankful, so happy to have been a part of this month. It's truly, like, May has been one of my best months this year. Like, it's hands down, what a fantastic time. I am so thankful, so happy to have been a part of this. So I'm gonna keep gushing and mushing all around, so I'm gonna go. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!